Hello everyone, welcome back. It is F1 Live once again on Instagram Live with me, Will Buxton, and I'm very excited about who we are talking to today. We've done the check-throughs, it's all working brilliantly, and joining us live any moment, if I can actually get the button pushed, and connect with them, and who's actually been driving a Formula One car this week. And you can't say that for many people. In fact, you haven't been able to say that for a good few months. Valtteri, hello.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Thanks.
Good.
Especially knowing we'll be back racing soon makes me very happy. So.
That's the big thing, isn't it? I mean, look, for us, it's a relief because we want to watch the racing. For you, having not been racing, it must be a huge relief.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, during the whole career, there's been not such a long break ever for me. So, yeah. And actually got to be back in the car last Tuesday, which was a lot of fun. So that's just get me even more excited for the first race.
Everyone's been saying that they're worried drivers are going to be rusty when they get back in the car. Even your fellow racers have been saying they're worried they'd be rusty when they get back in, that it's going to take a while to get back into the swing of things. How many laps did it take you to be back on it again?
Honestly, it's just a few laps. Of course, when you're kind of out from the car for such time as a driver, sometimes you think that, oh no, can I do I know still how to drive fast? But it's, obviously you've done the driving since a kid, so it just comes so naturally. So a few laps, and I felt like in Barcelona testing. So, and that was very nice. It was nice to get that confidence for the first race, that I'm definitely ready for it. And I'm sure it's the same for every team member as well. Getting kind of the right mindset and getting the race head again on. So it was important day for us.
Totally. I want to talk about that in a little bit, because obviously there's so much to talk about that day back in the car. But tell us about the last few months. What have you been up to? Where have you been? How have you found it?
Yeah, obviously initially it was quite a shock when in Melbourne on Friday morning I got told that I should go home. And then for some days there was this uncertainty of when actually things would start. So once there was a confirmation that, okay, we're not going to be racing for a few months, it took a time to kind of accept it, but we just had to accept it. That's how it is. So I decided to just really make most out of the time, because it's rare that there's so much, time for myself and for the people around me. So really just make most out of it. Had lots of fun, lots of good training, and actually it was pretty nice time off. And but definitely this extra few months can give me maybe extra few years of motivation for my career, I think. So yeah, initially after Australia, I went back to Monaco, and things were starting to get a bit tricky there in terms of things were starting to shut down. So then still, when Finland borders were open, just managed to get in to Finland, which was actually pretty good. Went to Lapland for some time, so I enjoyed Ski-Doo, all the snow stuff. And then went back to Nastola, which is my hometown where I was born, so at the lakeside for actually more than a month. And recently been back to Monaco for a bit more than a couple of weeks, and life is now pretty normal there. So actually was lucky that I was not involved in proper lockdown at any point. So.
Yeah, you've been really lucky with how you've managed to travel and where you've managed to be and things you've managed to do under lockdown as well. I mean, yes, you got your sim, and we saw you took delivery of your sim, but you've been karting, you've been rallying, like you've kept yourself properly on it.
Of course, the main important thing was obviously to keep driving, because and I think I consider myself lucky that I could be in places that I could do it. So every week since Melbourne, I've been driving something. So whether it's been rally car or go-kart, and it's always been flat out, not just faffing around. So I think that's also why last Tuesday felt pretty good in the car. So
yeah,
bit of simulator work, like I've got this home sim, bit of gaming, but I've been actually busy with outdoor activities, so maybe do less than others.
Yeah, we saw some photos from it. You weren't hanging around, getting lots of air. How do you go about doing that? I mean, obviously, you can't really be much more socially distanced than in a rally car in the middle of Finland. But how does that work? Do you know somebody that has land, or how does that all come about?
Oh, there's a local, obviously rally is a big thing in Finland, so there's a local team, and we managed to organize it, within the kind of rules and regulations and taking care of the health and safety. So we managed to do that, keeping the distance and still completing, quite a few test days actually, some on tarmac, some on gravel. So yeah, happy days.
Brilliant. And did you feel that when you got back in the F1 car that actually you were used to the speed, you were used to your reactions having to be up there, because you'd been driving?
I feel so, yes. Of course, it's always still it is a long break and nothing compares to Formula One. But yes, you can aid to keep those reactions and that driving feel on with other things. And of course, with my physical training as well, the last few weeks been focusing more on kind of speed and skill and reaction type of things. So just to keep sharp, and as the season gets closer, for sure we'll ramp up those things even more to be as ready as possible. So.
You spoke about it earlier, about how these few months off might have given you an extended Formula One career. How important has the break been? It's been nearly 6 months, or over 6 months, since we were racing last year. It's the longest anyone's ever had, of you and your colleagues away from a racetrack since you were probably 4 or 5 years old. How important has it been for your head, for your physical strength as well, just to take the time off and catch your breath?
Yeah, obviously it was quite like a forced break, but it was actually pretty good. I was also ready to race in Melbourne, that's for sure, and I was really keen to start the season. But yeah, like I said earlier, just had to accept the situation, and actually it was pretty nice. It's just taking proper step back of everything, because obviously factories were closed and the communication with the team at times was limited, and we already had analyzed everything from Barcelona testing.
Yeah.
There was nothing to speak about anymore than just kind of do other things. So actually, yeah, really enjoyed it, and I was in a good company as well. So my girlfriend Tiffany, she's a professional cyclist, so yeah, trying to keep up with her on the bike. Training-wise, I've never had this kind of training slot in my whole career. It was kind of training period, and 3 weeks ago I did fitness tests that I do either once or twice every year, and it was by far my best ever in my life. So
Wow.
I'm in good shape. So
Brilliant. I mean, the team was saying before the season started, this was Valtteri 3.0. Valtteri 2.0 kicked off last season pretty well. Obviously, coming through with the win, it was amazing. How different do you feel? Not just the guy coming into it in Australia, but the guy 4 months later who has had all this time to train. As you say, you've never been so fit.
I'm ready. I just can't wait to go. It's difficult to explain more. Yeah, very keen to go, and obviously it's going to be a special season. It's going to be shorter than normal. So yeah, to be on it from the first race onwards is going to be the key thing. So
Yeah.
I'm just ready. I feel as good as ever been. So yeah.
And this is it, isn't it? We know there's 8 races that we've definitely got, and what happens after that, we're not entirely sure yet. How crucial is each one of those 8 races going to be?
Minimizing of every mistake and maximizing every single race weekend is going to be the key, because every mistake is going to cost more than in a normal championship with more than 20 races. So yeah, just consistency and being on it, that's going to be the key, and just need to keep calm, not to be overdoing things, and trusting your own skills and team around you. I'm sure we can do that, but it's an interesting season ahead, and like I said, there's a bit of an unknown after the first 8 races how the calendar is going to be. So just need to kind of week by week, month by month, and we see.
Obviously, the first person you've got to beat is your teammate. Have you seen Lewis? Obviously, we know he did the day after you. Have you guys met up? Have you chatted since this all happened?
Yeah, we saw during the testing, and yeah, he seems fine. Obviously, he also had forced break, and he was in different places, and yeah, we spoke after both were driving, and he also really enjoyed being back in the car. It's been a while, and he also had a smile on his face after the day.
Because obviously you've had a rest, but the last thing anybody needed was, I guess, Lewis Hamilton having 6 months off and having a rest as well. Have you sort of given him a little look? Has he put on any weight? Or is he as trim as you are and raring to go?
Well, I'm sure he's raring to go, but obviously I don't know what he's been up to during this break. But all I know, I'm ready, and I hope that will be enough. But yeah, it's every driver, I'm sure, is so keen to go. So that's why pretty interesting the first few races.
We've got lots of questions coming in from the fans, so I'm going to try and get to some of these and fire them over to you before we have to go. I think there's so many coming in for you. One of the ones which has been asked quite a lot, and I can't find it now because they're coming in thick and fast. When you did the Sky interview the other day, obviously the question was fired at you about Sebastian and Mercedes, and you said it's not happening. The team have told you absolutely not. How confident are you with staying with the team for next year? How are things going in terms of that contract renewal?
Yeah, I'm of course only contracted for this year as per as how the contracts were made before. But of course we still haven't done a single race, so I think any speculation before we start racing is just talking. There's no more than that. So, and it is not a new situation for me. It's been same thing every single year. So I think year by year I've been learning how to deal with these kind of things and avoiding the pressure out of it. And I just have that one single target in my mind for this season, and that's it. Try to take all the other thoughts away. And if I can follow those targets and my performance targets, and if our team can perform well, there's going to be no worries about any contract. So let's see.
Cool. One thing which hasn't happened, but which was discussed, the potential for a reverse grid race replacing qualifying. If the Mercedes had gone as fast as everyone was expecting it to, likely you and Lewis would have started on the last row for that qualifying race to set the grid. Did you think it was an interesting idea?
Kind of, yes, but kind of also a bit unfair at times, because we know some tracks how difficult it can be to kind of overtake, and maybe that would make you play some games. I don't know whether in qualifying or qualifying race, I don't know. So it's I don't know. I just like fair racing, and may the best man win. So as we are now, I'm pretty comfortable with the current format. So.
Cool. What's your feeling about DAS? Obviously, you had run it in pre-season testing. It was something very new to all of us. We don't know how long you guys have been trying it in the simulator or whatever. How does it feel? Was it interesting going back to a car, obviously, a couple of days ago that didn't have the DAS because you were in the 2-year-old car?
It's pretty. Of course, it's an impressive piece of kit, and that's why it is quite easy to operate as a driver, and it's like super safe, and you can't accidentally do it. So driving the old car without it was no problem, and also with the new car and what we've done in the simulator and in testing, we're 100% comfortable with it. Obviously, there's been a lot of debate, if it's legal or not, but we think it is, and it's just impressive piece of kit. And yeah, we still haven't obviously used it in racing circumstances, and we look forward to discovering how it can help us.
Was it strange the first time you pulled it away? Because that's not a movement you normally have with the steering. If your steering wheel goes like that when you're in a straight line, it's usually bad news.
Not good news, Oh, yes, I have to say, first time I tried, but that was luckily in the simulator. But yeah, but then you get used to it, and then you get to trust the system, and all good.
Cool. This one has been, obviously, we've all been conscious of this over lockdown. Have you learned any new skills during lockdown? Anything you can do now that you couldn't do 3 months ago?
Yes, actually. I learned how to make a good pizza.
Okay, base as well?
The whole lockdown in Pizza Friday, and I'm the pizza chef. So.
Nice. What's the trick?
A proper pizza oven, and obviously making the base, I make it myself. So you the correct flour, and especially I'm gluten free, so having the correct gluten free flour can be tricky. So when you find that, you work step by step on your recipe, and it'll be good.
Oh, that's tough. Do you have to add like xanthan gum or anything to it, like you do with bread, or...
I've already pre-mixed, and some you need to add some psyllium or some kind of thing. But I found my secret recipe, and maybe I can share it one day. Who knows?
Oh, excellent! Valtteri's Pizza Restaurant on track. Why not? You can fire up the pizza oven.
Learned how to roast coffee.
Oh, okay. You've been properly busy in the kitchen then.
A coffee roaster in Finland, and yeah, I roasted my first batch there, and been fully into coffee as always.
Oh wow! That's it. And can we buy it?
Yes, you can. I can share some. It's called kahiwa in Finland, but yeah, I can share some details, and I'm sure in the future you'll see something more. Maybe I can do my own blend or something.
Brilliant. I like that. I like that. Valtteri, thank you so much for being with us. We know our 15 minutes is up, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you. I guess the last question that I have is the same one I've asked everybody over lockdown. If you've got any messages for your fans, especially now we know racing's coming back and lockdown's starting to be lifted, you know, around the world. Just a message for all your fans at the moment as they wait to see you back on track.
Yeah, thank you for loyalty. Thanks for hanging on. It's been a long wait. I've been raring to go and can't wait to get racing. And I'm sure it's same for you. You can't wait to see the races and support. And I'm sorry that for now you can't be there as a person. I'm sure some of you wanted to get there in real to see the action. But I know you'll be supporting us in front of your TV, giving the support. And even with not being racing, I really felt lots of support from you guys. So especially to my very loyal fans, thank you very much, and take care of yourself. And I promise I'll make some interesting races for you. So keep watching.
Brilliant stuff, man. Can't wait. We will see you in a few weeks in Austria. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you very soon, man.
Thank you. Cheers.
See you later. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. We will see you very soon.